Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Underflow and today we're going to be talking about the White Bowser. This story goes pretty deep. It's a very weird and twisty rabbit hole, but it's a story that I've been wanting to cover for a while now. I do want to briefly apologize for the absence that has happened on my channel. I don't really know what happened. Fell into a rut, didn't really upload, couldn't really upload, ran out of ideas, was drawing nothing but blanks, but I'm back now and I am sorry for the absence. Now, I know a lot of you are sitting there scratching your head saying, Underflow, what is this video going to be fully about? And I'm going to give you the breakdown real quick. It's basically going to be covering when the White Bowser, otherwise known as Earl, accidentally groped a female co-worker at the movie theater where he worked and claimed it was an anime moment. Not only that, he used an actual child to, lure in predators, an actual real-life child to lure in predators in a Discord server, had allegations of being a predator himself, has streamed animated CP to people on his Discord server, and accused somebody of being a predator themselves. The accusation of someone being a predator actually happened to a YouTuber by the name of Smokey MC because the White Bowser was kicked from his Discord server, so he falsely accused Smokey MC of being a predator, which is just not true at all. So like I said, this story is going to have a lot of twists, turns, it's going to be a deep rabbit hole of nothing but sad depression, so I hope everybody's ready to buckle up and get ready for this ride. I hope all of you are happy to see me back, because I am very happy to be back as it is. Now, I think that there is no better place to start in this twisted story than with his confession on the Reddit page /confessions, where he admitted to accidentally groping a female coworker. Now, what really is the cherry on top with this whole terrible Reddit confession is the fact that he deemed it a anime character moment. He finally had his anime character moment where he finally got graceful enough to touch a woman's boob. He finally, was daunted with that pleasure that he's been seeking his entire life. His anime character moment finally shined upon him. Now, Earl here titles his very long confession, "The Day My Life Turned into an Anime." Disclaimer: this is the story of a man who flew too close to the sun. And to me, that seems far more poetic than what actually happened, because saying you flew too close to the sun sounds like you're taking a risk, but in reality, all you did was grope an innocent woman for no reason whatsoever. So, I don't really know what was going through his head here when he wrote "The Day My Life Turned into an Anime." I don't know if he decided to write that and think everybody on Reddit was going to respond with, "Oh my gosh, you just groped a woman, such anime kawaii Oni-chan. This is some next tier writing. This is some fan service right here, some good stuff." I just find it wild that the 30-year-old man that goes by the White Bowser, who groped what he called an 18-year-old girl, said that this was such an anime moment about the man who flew too close to the sun. Saying the man who flew too close to the sun just makes it sound like it was intentional regarding how he said it was an accident. Just kind of contradicts the entire point of him saying it's an accident. Talk about, oh, he flew too close to the sun, basically saying he took a risk, which is like saying that it wasn't an accident at all and it was intentional. Just from the first two sentences alone, you can already tell it's going to be a doozy, but I say we get into the meat and potatoes. I cut past the first two paragraphs of just straight backstory of where he worked and why he worked there. I mean, it was pretty damn boring. We're just going to cut right to the actual part that matters. And one night, I was working behind the popcorn counter and was called over by my boss for a nightly team meeting. This wasn't anything out of the ordinary. He always did it to make sure everyone knew what jobs everyone had to get done so everyone could work together and go home quicker. So I walked over there, and so did all my coworkers. My boss talked to everyone and asked everyone what jobs were left for the day and to work together to get everything done faster. After the end of the speech, one of my best friends at the movie theater, who I absolutely had a man crush on, even though I was straight, put his hand in the middle of the crowd. Now, we always did this and everyone was expected to do the same, like sort of Power Rangers-esque fashion, and everyone would shout, "Go movie theater." However, one girl in the group did not want to do it, and she began walking away before everyone had a chance to put their hands in the middle. Not knowing what was going on in her head or why she was walking away, I instinctively swung my arm around and grabbed her shoulder from the back. What happened next to this day I still have no memory of, because it happened so darn fast. Now, by the way, I just want to say I completely understand why she would walk away. After like a 6 to 8 hour shift, I'm not going to put my hand in the middle of a bunch of sweaty people in a movie theater and just scream, "Go movie theater team." That is some Looney Tunes shit. Like, that would make me mad. That wouldn't even make me happy. That wouldn't even be like a positive workplace for me. That would genuinely anger me if that had to happen to me in my workplace. She turned around faster than lightning and said, "You better hustle." And yes, I'm not even sure that's what she said because I don't remember. Also, when she turned around at breakneck speed, my hand moved from grabbing the back of her shoulder to the front of her chest. And yes, this all happened within the span of 5 seconds. When she stormed off, I was standing in shock with all my coworkers behind me, and they were all looking at me, and all I could say was I should not have done that. The rest of the night went off awkwardly. I started cleaning my station, and I couldn't forget the girl I touched anywhere. A few minutes later, my boss told me to go home, so I drove home saying in my head, what just happened? What just did I do? The next day I walked into work, not expecting anything to go wrong. That's when my manager walked up to me and told me to follow him into his office. He told me what happened last night, how everyone saw it even though I had no recollection of it. I was so shocked and ashamed that I couldn't deal with it. I just said I can't. I took off my gloves, threw them in the trash, clocked out, and drove home. This was the end of the heaven on earth for me. So the poet of our times here, the White Bowser, calls groping a woman without their consent basically heaven on earth. It's just kinda wild. Everything that he words it with is just completely fucking goofy. Like, he never words anything correctly. It's like he's never taking it seriously whatsoever. He could sit there and talk about how ashamed and disgusted he is, but with the wording he has and how he types things out, just makes everything seem so damn goofy, and it makes everything seem like a lie. People found this out about the White Bowser because he initially started going after Smokey MC, a YouTuber with around 63,000 subs now, but I believe back when this happened it was only around 22 to 25,000. That's when people dug even deeper and some even worse stuff surfaced. Two very, very, very bad things. One of which was the fact that he used an actual underage minor to lure predators with their pictures and their age to try and lure them and try to find them in the Discord server. You know, kind of being like the epic vigilante known as Batman, because that's pretty much what he was there. Not only that, in the Bowser's private Discord server, it was also found out that he was streaming and sending, animated CP to the little Discord server, private Discord server he had going on. So it's just some overall deplorable and disgusting behavior that we're going to see next. The conversation you're seeing on screen is when the White Bowser told the underage child that he was using their age to lure in predators in his private Discord server. Now, keep in mind, the person who he was using their age and photos didn't even know that this was happening. So I'm going to read off these texts to you and tell me what you guys think in the comments. If you're wondering why I mentioned your age in my Discord server, it is because I wanted to see if I could bait out and catch bad actors. Remember, I am a smart man, 110 IQ for a reason. DM me if anyone in the server grooms you, or otherwise. So here we have the White Bowser being the knight in not-so-shining armor here. It's just fucking insane how he words this and what he even says. He says, DM me if anyone in the server grooms you or otherwise. He's like, once it happens, you let me know, because I'll be there immediately, but we gotta let it happen first. I also like how he flexed the 110 IQ. I really don't know what it's like to have an IQ that big. Some of us aren't blessed with knowledge like he is. I probably have one sitting around a good 30 or 20. I'm pretty smart when it comes to everything, so about a 30 or 20. In this DM, the White Bowser says, "Ultimately, T, the thing here is I don't care if you were to turn 18 tomorrow. You are still a child in my eyes, and you were threatened and doxxed by predators because you allied with me. The predators target everyone who allies with me." That's false, and there's no proof of that whatsoever. I mean, it's very, very false, because the White Bowser loves to claim that he gets doxxed all the time and threatened all the time, but in reality, what truly happens is he name drops his full government name, talks about the actual place that he worked at, he talks about the town that he's lived in, the state that he's lived in. He basically just doxes himself at this point. He says, "Let the adults deal with the adult problems. You are a child, stay out of it." As far as I am concerned, the doxing, the threatening, might be just that, threats, not promises, as in they were only said to provoke a reaction, not to endanger innocent people. The White Bowser at this point is just kind of fighting ghosts. He started off by falsely accusing somebody because he was banned from their Discord server for saying some very nasty things. One of the things he told someone to do, there was a veteran in the server who served overseas, and the Bowser told him if he's so unhappy with his life, he should just end it, and that's one of the main reasons why he was banned. Now it's time to jump into the White Bowser being an absolute creep and openly admitting to finding a lot of high school anime girls very attractive, sexually arousing. He just, loves them. He wants to gobble them up, so to speak. There's a few anime that he's very into that I, heard of for the very first time through the White Bowser while researching him, and by God, is he into some weird ones. Some of the weirdest ones possible. One of the Bowser's favorite anime is Tawawa on a Monday. Now, I'm assuming that 100% of you guys here have never heard of that anime, because I personally have never heard of that anime. I'm an anime enjoyer. I like to watch the good stuff, like Naruto or One Piece, the actual good stuff with good plot and writing. But it seems like the White Bowser isn't into good writing. He's just more into mindless plots with terrible points, just overall shit story. As long as it has an underage girl with a big chest, he's all about it. And that's what Tawawa on a Monday is about. It's about the shy class president that has a crazy large chest, and all the guys swoo over the fact that she has a large chest. That is the entire plot of it, from what I can understand. It is absolutely disgusting and terrible, especially due to the fact that I believe that the main character is like a 15-year-old girl in high school, and the fact that he openly admitted to finding that sexually arousing and then sharing pictures of, that animated CP was just absolutely appalling. Now, I do just want to say, the fact that this was an anime to begin with, the fact that this existed in the first place is disgusting, to be completely honest. It's just very, very, very weird. It's a very common occurrence that you'll see anime characters be sexualized in weird ways, no matter what their age is. It's absolutely disgusting. I just wish that a lot of them would stick to some good plot, but the only way some anime can hold attention with their fan base is if they give them heavy fan service. I think the best way to go about this is to literally just show you what the White Bowser's thoughts on this situation is. Check this out.
The White Bowser. So honestly, I've wanted to have a bit of a discussion on this topic for a very long time. I see some of my favorite YouTube creators covering the news about it, including Technicals and Smokey McCrack. A few days ago, on my private Discord server, there was a raid. The nature of this raid and why and how it happened are unknown. Now, naturally, the group of actors seemed to want to be my friends at first, so I allowed them free roam on my Discord server, and then everyone got together in voice chat. And then I honestly have no fucking idea what happened next. Still really confused, honestly. Basically, I was accused of being a pedophile. The basis of this claim is that I admitted that I found scenes from the Japanese cartoons called Tawawa on Monday and Freezing to be sexually attractive. For context, the female cartoon characters in this anime are portrayed and drawn to be hypersexualized on purpose by the manga artists.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that just might be the dumbest fucking rebuttal I've ever heard of in my entire life. He basically says, yeah, they're underage, but they're wearing revealing clothing, so it makes it okay. That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. That's like genuinely the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my entire life.
But on that basis alone, that labels me as a pedophile, because those females in the cartoon are below the age of 18. Now, me being bipolar, autistic, and retired, I felt the need to defend myself against these accusations. I should know better than to don't feed the trolls. So, the whole harassment attack lasted for about 3 hours. And at the end, I banned every one of them. Afterwards, I was so depressed by the accusations of pedophilia, I decided to message my licensed professional psychiatrist about the incident. Because, here's the thing, if it is true that I medically have a problem, I will fix it. And what better person to ask than someone who is a licensed doctor? So here you can see the entire message I wrote out to my psychiatrist, Dr. David Guffey. Let's see what his response is. Hey, Earl Libby from the future here. If you have an IQ greater than or equal to Chris Chan, unlike this marijuana addict who has a job in the information technology field, and read the message my psychiatrist said to me, my psychiatrist, the professionally licensed doctor, also told me to contact my social worker / therapist about these false accusations. So I did. Here we can see me messaging my therapist, Dr. Jeffrey DeVore, a licensed professional in behavioral medicine. Let's see what his response is. I want all of you sociopaths to be very clear about what you are. You people are sick.
You showed literally nothing. You just showed your therapist saying, hey, we should probably do this and talk about this on call. You showed nothing else besides him saying, hey, let's call, and then your DM back. You showed literally nothing. You're fighting invisible entities right now. You are talking to an absolute brick wall. Like, I don't know what you're fighting or what your rebuttal was for that entire point, but you can't give me a blank piece of paper on a math quiz and expect me to be able to grade something on nothing. What you showed me has no value whatsoever.
Adis. You center your entire livelihood around finding a random individual and getting them to admit or say one thing. You record it and then you use it to ruin their lives. This is how you losers get your kink.
I don't really want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. But I just need to quickly say it wasn't one thing that we found, it was multiple things we found. It wasn't 1, wasn't 2, wasn't 3, wasn't 4, wasn't 5, wasn't 6, wasn't even 7. It was beyond that. But the bad part about this is I can't show a lot of it on YouTube because I'm not going to risk getting myself demonetized or striked because that, you're just...
Please be aware, Smokey McCrack, these sadists are lurking in your fanbase, in your community, and they attacked me. Let me educate all of you on some real medical psychology. As my therapist, Jeffrey DeVore, said, there are 2 things in the human mind, ego-sanic and ego-alien. When you are ego-sanic, like Chris Chan, you feel no remorse, no shame, no guilt, no distress when an accusation is made towards you about you raping mother, and rightfully so, you go to prison for it. When you are ego-alien, like me, Earl Doobie, you feel afraid, panic, defensive, angry when an accusation is made towards you about being a pedophile.
So you can definitely see that he really buckled up there. He tried to turn into Light Yagami, and his cases weren't really going so well. A lot of the rebuttals he made weren't very good rebuttals. The arguments he brought up were terrible arguments, and his excuses for what has happened was just terrible. Like, in the very beginning of the video that I just showed you, he immediately goes, yes, they are in fact underage, but they are meant to be underaged, and they're meant to have very revealing clothing, so it makes it okay. Keep good, guys. I mean, his argument is just genuinely terrible, because if we applied that argument to real life, let's put it into a hypothetical situation. Let's say the White Bowser goes to a beach. He's a 30-year-old man, by the way. He sees a 15-year-old high school girl wearing a 2-piece bikini, and immediately his eyes pop out of his head. He starts floating in the air like a Cartoon Network 1990s character, going absolutely berserk. Blood goes right out of his nose like he's straight out of an anime, and he has another, such kawaii anime moment. I mean, it's just a terrible argument to have, because if you apply it to real life, what he's saying is absolutely appalling and disgusting. I mean, even when you don't apply it to real life, it's just genuinely disgusting. You know, after the White Bowser went under a lot of fire for a multitude of reasons, especially the ones where he's falsely accusing people of being a predator, where he gets, outclassed and people start pointing out very weird things that he's done, like accidentally groping his female coworker, to, showing minors in a Discord server some animated CP. It goes very deep. It's a very twisty rabbit hole, and once he was exposed for that and he was put on blast for it, and a lot of people started talking about him, and a lot of people started talking to him, he wasn't very happy with that. He compares himself to a caged and wounded animal.
This is another take. I want to make it very abundantly clear right now that I feel in danger, and I feel in danger because of Smokey's community, Smokey McCracken's community, maliciously targeting me. I feel in danger. If you want to see what a caged animal behaves and acts like, here it is, okay? There's a big difference between a caged animal and a lolcow. A caged animal acts afraid, acts scared, he panics. A lolcow will just act arrogant. He'll yell, he'll scream. Cyrax, he yells and he screams and he engages with people who accuse him of things. Okay, that's what Cyrax does. And that's what Chris Chan does. They engage with people who want to hurt them. I don't want to engage with anyone who wants to hurt me. Okay? I'm scared right now. I feel as if I am in danger. If you want to know what happened with Kayla, it was a work accident. Slip up, made something fall. It was a mistake.
Now, the video does go on to play for a little bit while longer, but it's kind of him just repeating the same exact things that you've heard him repeat throughout this entire video. Kayla is the woman that he groped at his workplace, by the way. Now, I just want to quickly point out and say, there was really never any reason for him to even try to touch that woman at all. There was never any excuse for him to lay a hand on her, whether or not she's walking away from your cringy ass, Power Ranger, woohoo, go team, victory celebration. There was still no reason to touch them. I'm a pretty heavy advocate for, keep your hands to yourself. Not everybody wants to be touched by anybody really whatsoever. I mean, it's just kind of goofy to lay your greasy fingers on somebody for no reason. Now, the next and final clip that we are going to take a nice long gaze at is one of the final videos that the White Bowser has made. It's a 57-minute long video, but I summed it down to 8 minutes because a lot of it was just repeating the points and arguments. Some of the arguments and points that he would repeat were just absolutely downright terrible. He misuses a lot of words, especially with his IQ of 110. I wish I could reach that level one day. But you're going to see a lot of goofiness in this, last video that he ever made. A lot of rebuttals of the same exact points, him doubling down on everything else that he says, and a very, very half-assed and half-baked apology to Kayla. But he also kind of full government name drops, Kayla's twin sister, and her brother. And if you aren't, keeping up by now, Kayla's the woman that he accidentally groped at his workplace.
I have sinned. This is the White Bowser here, and I'm showing up for a confession on the internet. I've dressed up in full church garb, and we're gonna get straight into it. Now, just before this accident happened, I was offered a supervisory position at Magic Macomb. I was by the human resources manager, my friend Nick. My friend Nick and I, even when he was a lead at Magic Macomb, he was such a good friend, and even he understood that what I did was an accident, that it wasn't intentional. Even my best friend at Imagine Macomb, Gio, who went on to become a supervisor in my stead after I quit Imagine Macomb, he said, Earl, what you did to Kayla Rice wouldn't even hold up in court because it was an accident, because it was unintentional. And that was one thing that I really never understood. How can I be a sex offender if what I did was unintentional? If what I did truly was an accident? It's like, doesn't mean I don't feel shame for it. I feel shame for what I did. I do. So, but let me get back into it. I had lots of great times working at Imagine Macomb. Lots of great friends. And truly, you guys, the internet, only really know the half of the story of what happened. But now that you know this intro of the friends I have at Imagine Macomb, Gio, Nick. Gio was the kind of person.
That entire point you made of, talking about how you had friends that stuck up for you at your workplace after everything that happened doesn't even matter. They're your friends, they're biased on the situation. They like you, so they're gonna lean more towards your opinion about what happened. I mean, you do understand biases exist, and if you're only going to state the opinions of the people that you were really good friends with, I'm assuming they're gonna have some heavy bias around you no matter what.
Person that told me that it wasn't your fault, it was an accident. Gio even told me that I should stop blaming myself for what happened. Gio and I, we both wish it never did happen, because it soiled the entire relationship I had with everyone at Imagine Macomb. She was 18 years old. And to anyone online who wants to say that I sexually assaulted a minor, you're wrong. And I know you're wrong. Because Kayla's twin sister, her name is Heather, she was 18 going on 19 years old when this happened. So to anyone online who wants to say I assaulted a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 8-year-old, you're telling lies. You're telling straight lies. You're only telling those lies to make you feel better about yourself. Me, I don't feel good about what I did. Why should I feel good about what I did? Kayla was 18 years old at the time, and even though what happened was a pure accident, that was unintentional, that I felt such disgust and shame for what I did, and that's one other thing I don't understand either. I know I was the perpetrator for my actions. I know Kayla was the victim. Way too fast for me to react. My hand slipped. It touched her chest. That's what you call... And, much to my dismay, much to how I hate to admit it, I groped someone. Yes. I groped a woman. And that is my own sin that I have to bear, that I had to ask for forgiveness for. Now, bear in mind, I was really quite in shock when the whole thing went down. I had never touched a boob before. I was just sort of frozen in place. Now, I only, quote-unquote, groped her for 5 seconds, max.
Oh! That's completely understandable. Thank you for clearing up the air. You only held on for a very, very long 5 seconds. 5 seconds is a very long time to just sit there and just be squeezing, you know what I mean? Like that, 5 seconds is a pretty damn long time for a situation like that. 5 seconds usually is pretty short, but to stand there for 5 seconds like a deer in headlights while you're, actively doing something very nasty is just completely insane.
Doesn't matter. I still did something wrong. I still have to fess up for what I did. My first mistake really was when I grabbed her shoulder. I shouldn't have done that. I recall when I was talking with the general manager of the theater, John at the time, he said to me in a sort of fatherly-esque way, "You're not getting punished for your first mistake. Wasn't when she turned around and you touched her chest. Your first mistake was when you grabbed her shoulder." And he's right. He's right. That was my first mistake. That was something I never should have done. And I really wish that it never happened. Because I hurt someone after that. And I felt the utmost shame and disgust after what happened had happened. My hand slipped and touched her chest. That's all I can say. It truly was an anime-esque moment. Kind of fitting since I'm such an anime nerd, but I digress. Days after that incident passed, I kind of went home after that because my manager, who saw it happen, he dismissed me early. Didn't really tell me what I did. I hadn't even realized what I did. I had groped a woman and not even had any recollection nor memory of it happening because it happened so fast. Because I was in shock of touching a boob. You know, the craziest part is that she was kind of a flat chest. She was like no bigger than a B cup. It was actually her twin sister Heather who got the good genes. But
Yeah, you're literally a walking greaseball to say that after you acted like you had so much remorse. You went on to rant and yap for a very long time. You're literally a yapologist at this point in time at the moment. You're literally sitting there going, this is so shameful, this is so disgusting, I'm so shamed of what I did, I wish I could take it all back, man, this is probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But to be fair, she was pretty flat. I mean, like, do you not understand how disgusting that is? Just the even statement you just made there. You know how weird that is to say? And then to look at the camera with your, little beady eyes and just immediately go, yeah, Sister Heather, she got the good genes. That is so creepy. That is so disgusting. That is deplorable. Your entire apology just went out of the window as soon as you started making a joke of the situation. As soon as you just talked about how, oh, she barely had anything to grab. I mean, I don't know why you're sitting there, for one, just body shaming somebody when you are not a grand prize whatsoever. You, to be completely honest, kind of look like John C. Reilly if everything went wrong.
we're gonna stop talking like an asshole. My apologies. I'm in confession here. I should be talking more maturely towards the audience. What I did was wrong. And I felt great shame for it. I felt such great shame for it that I quit my job at Imagine Macomb. I was not fired. I quit. If you read my initial Reddit post that I made on r/confessions, which, by the way, I really appreciate how you trolls online had to dig through my Reddit history just to find r/confessions. Keep in mind, r/confessions is the kind of subreddit where you confess something you did wrong, where you go to receive forgiveness. That's the whole point of the subreddit. But nope. No. Not for smoky MCC internet trolls. Nope.
Now, I really don't think he deserves forgiveness for what he did. Now, you may be wondering or saying, that's a little bit too harsh, but after hearing him joke about the situation, putting a disgusting smirk on his face, and then going on to make fun of the victim's body, talking about how flat-chested it is, I don't think he deserves that forgiveness that he seeks. I think he's disgusting. I think what he did was deplorable. I think his apology was nothing but lies. I think all of it is just extremely disgusting and sad situation. And the fact that he had the gall to sit there and joke about how the victim's sister had a better body than the victim did is just absolutely disgusting. And I just don't ever see how he could sit there and say that and expect to be forgiven like he did nothing wrong. He even mentions how he knows what he was saying was wrong by calling himself an asshole. It's just overall extremely disgusting. I think we learned a lot from today's video. Two main things being do not ever work a job with this man, and just be careful with whoever you're talking to on the internet, obviously. Overall, that's going to end it for today's video. Hope everybody watching today's video is having a great day, or is going to have a great night, depending on the time of day that you do watch this. And I will see you guys on the next one. Hopefully a video very, very soon. But yeah, that's it. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. See ya.